Hey everyone, welcome to Daily English, your quick and easy way to learn English every day. From useful phrases to fun grammar tips.
The sun was rising over Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. The city looked calm from far away. The mountains stood quiet, the streets slowly filled with people going to work. But under this calm, fear and tension lived in every heart. For many years, Venezuela had been in trouble. Food was hard to find, money had lost value, many people had left the country, others stayed and hoped things would change. At the center of this storm was President Nicolás Maduro. Maduro walked through the halls of Miraflores Palace, the presidential home. Guards followed him closely. His face looked tired but firm. He knew the country was watching him. He also knew the world was watching. Across the ocean, in Washington, D.C., another man was speaking loudly. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, stood before cameras. His voice was strong, his words were sharp. "Venezuela is suffering," he said. "The people deserve freedom. The regime must end." These words were not new. Trump had spoken like this many times before. He called Maduro a dictator. He supported the Venezuelan opposition. He used sanctions to pressure the government. Every time Trump spoke, Caracas reacted. In homes across Venezuela, people listened to radios and phones. Some felt hope, some felt fear, some felt anger. "This will bring war," an old man said quietly. "No, this will bring change," a young woman replied. Inside the palace, Maduro met with his advisors. "The Americans are increasing pressure," one advisor said. "They want us to fall without firing a bullet," said another. Maduro sat silently. Then he spoke slowly. "They think Venezuela is weak, but we are still standing." Yet even as he spoke, doubt lived inside him. That night, in a secret room far away, a different kind of meeting was happening. Men sat around a table. They wore simple clothes, no flags, no ranks shown. Their faces were serious. These men were fictional intelligence and military planners in this story, representing U.S. pressure tactics, not real operations. A screen showed maps of Venezuela, photos of streets, government buildings, airports. One man spoke quietly. "We are not here for invasion," he said. "We are here to talk about options." Another man leaned forward. "Trump wants results, fast results." The room stayed silent. Everyone knew what results meant. Back in Caracas, rumors started spreading. People whispered in markets. People posted messages online. People looked up when helicopters passed. "They are coming." "No, it's just talk. I heard something big will happen." Maduro noticed the change in the air. His security was increased. Roads were blocked. Meetings were moved. At night, he stood near a window and looked at the city lights. He told himself, "I will not run." Meanwhile, Donald Trump stood again before reporters. "All options are on the table," he said. Those words traveled fast. All options. To politicians, it meant pressure. To soldiers, it meant plans. To people, it meant fear. In Venezuela, opposition leaders became more active. They spoke openly. They called for protests. They called for support from the world. Maduro felt surrounded by enemies abroad, by pressure at home, by uncertainty everywhere. One evening, an advisor rushed into the room. "Mr. President," he said, breathing fast, "our intelligence says something is moving." Maduro looked up sharply. "What kind of something?" The advisor hesitated. "Foreign activity, unclear, very quiet, very professional." Maduro stood. "Prepare the guards, no mistakes." Outside, the city lights kept shining. Cars kept moving, children slept, but history was slowly turning a page. In Washington, Trump watched the news on a large screen. He did not smile. "They had their chance," he said. In Caracas, Maduro tightened his jacket and walked deeper into the palace. Neither man knew exactly what the next days would bring, but both knew one thing. The days after Trump's words felt heavy and slow in Caracas. Soldiers stood at road crossings, police checked cars more often, helicopters flew low at night, people whispered more and trusted less. President Nicolás Maduro barely slept. Every knock on the door sounded louder than before. Every phone call felt dangerous. He moved from room to room inside the palace, always surrounded by guards. "Double the night patrols," he ordered. "No one enters without full checks." Outside the palace walls, protests began. Some people waved flags, some shouted for change, some shouted for Maduro to stay. The country felt split in two. At the same time, far away in the United States, pressure was growing inside the White House. Donald Trump sat with his advisors. The mood was tense. "Sanctions are not enough," one advisor said. "The world is watching," said another. "If we act, it must be clean." Trump leaned back in his chair. "I don't like weak moves," he said. "Maduro thinks we are just talking." He stood up and pointed at a screen showing Caracas. "He's wrong." In this fictional story, secret plans were discussed, not open war, but quiet pressure designed to shake power from the inside. Meanwhile, strange things started happening in Venezuela. Communication systems failed for minutes at a time. Power cuts happened without warning. Military units received confusing orders. Maduro noticed everything. "They are testing us," he said to his defense chief. "They want us to panic." The defense chief nodded. "But our people are nervous, even loyal men." That night, Maduro met with a small circle of trusted officials. "If something happens," Maduro said, "the world must know we did not surrender." One man spoke carefully. "Sir, rumors are spreading. People say foreign forces are already inside the country." Maduro slammed his hand on the table. "Rumors are weapons," he said. "We must stay calm." But calm was hard to keep. In the streets, people filmed everything: a military truck passing, a helicopter landing, armed men near government buildings. Videos spread fast, truth and lies mixed together. Across the ocean, Trump gave another speech. "The Venezuelan people are brave," he said. "They will not be forgotten." His words sounded supportive, but also threatening. Inside Miraflores Palace, security alarms rang suddenly one night. Red lights flashed. Guards ran through halls. Maduro was rushed into a secure room. "What is it?" he demanded. An officer answered quickly. "Unknown movement near the outer zone. Possibly a false alarm." Possibly. That word stayed in the air. Later, when things calmed down, Maduro sat alone. He remembered how he had risen to power, the promises he had made, the mistakes he had made. Is this the end, or just another test? Outside the palace, ordinary people suffered the most. A mother waited in line for bread. A father searched for medicine. Children asked questions adults could not answer. Why are people angry? Why do leaders fight? No one had easy answers. In Washington, pressure groups demanded action. In Caracas, loyalists demanded strength. And between them stood one man, Maduro, holding power that felt heavier every day. Then came the night when everything changed. It began quietly. No explosions, no loud warnings, just silence. The power went out across several areas of Caracas. Phones lost signal. The palace switched to emergency lights. Maduro was meeting with advisors when a guard entered pale-faced. "Sir, "Something is wrong." Maduro stood. "Explain." The guard swallowed. "Our systems are blind. Cameras down, communications down." Maduro's heart beat faster. "Lock the building. No one moves." Outside, shadows moved where lights once shined. Inside, tension tightened like a rope. This was no protest, no speech, no sanction. This felt personal. In a secure room somewhere else, fictional operatives watched screens. "Phase moving forward," one said calmly. "No noise," said another. Back in the palace, Maduro felt time slow down. He heard footsteps, he heard voices, not shouting, controlled, careful. His guards raised weapons. Then came a voice over a speaker. "President Maduro, this is a controlled situation. No one needs to get hurt." Maduro clenched his fists. So, this is how history knocks. The palace held its breath. Caracas held its breath. The world was about to wake up to something it had never seen before.
The halls of Miraflora's palace were silent. Too silent. Emergency lights painted the walls in red and white shadows. President Nicolás Maduro stood behind a heavy table, surrounded by a small group of guards. Their weapons were raised, but their hands were shaking. The calm voice came again through the speaker. "President Maduro, this is not an attack. This is a controlled operation. Please remain calm." Maduro stepped forward. "Who are you?" he demanded. "You enter my country in the dark and call this calm?" There was a pause. Then the voice answered. "You already know who stands behind this pressure." Maduro did not need a name. Across the ocean, Donald Trump was still awake. Screens glowed in the White House. Advisors stood quietly. No one spoke loudly. No one smiled. "This must end clean," Trump said firmly. "No chaos." Back in Caracas, guards reported movement inside the palace. "They are too fast," one whispered. "They know the building," said another. Maduro realized something important then. This was not about fighting. This was about control. The voice spoke again, closer now. "Mr. President, you have two choices. Walk with us peacefully or risk blood in your own house." Maduro looked at his guards. "They want me," he said softly, "not you." One guard shook his head. "We protect you," he said. Maduro raised his hand. "No," he said, "I will not let Venezuelan blood be spilled for me tonight." For the first time in years, Maduro felt something strange. Clarity. He straightened his jacket and walked forward. "I will come," he said loudly, "but know this, history will judge all of us." The doors opened. In this fictional story, masked men entered with calm movements. No shouting, no violence, just precision. Maduro was escorted through halls he had ruled for years. Outside, helicopters waited. The city below was dark. People slept, unaware that something historic was happening above them. As the helicopter lifted, Maduro looked down at Caracas. "I did not say goodbye," he thought. "Neither did my country." Hours later, the world woke up to chaos. News channels exploded with breaking headlines. Social media flooded with rumors. Governments demanded answers. The White House released a careful statement. "The United States supports a peaceful transition for Venezuela. The Venezuelan people deserve a future free from suffering." Trump spoke later that day. This was about stability, about ending pain. His tone was strong, aggressive, confident. Supporters praised him, critics condemned him. The world was divided. In Venezuela, shock turned into confusion. Some people cried, some celebrated, Some were afraid of what would come next. The military issued statements. Opposition leaders stepped forward. Foreign governments called emergency meetings. Maduro, now held in a secure, undisclosed location in this fictional story, sat alone. No palace, no cameras, no speeches, just silence. For the first time, he was not president. He thought of the people, the promises, the power. Did it worth it? He asked himself. Back in Caracas, crowds filled the streets again, not for one man, but for the future. Hope and fear walked side by side. No one knew what tomorrow would bring. But one thing was clear. The old chapter was closed. History books would argue, politicians would debate, truth would be questioned, but for the people of Venezuela, life would continue, as it always does. Under the same sun, in the same streets, with new dreams and old wounds. And somewhere far away, Donald Trump looked at the world he had shaken and said quietly, "Leadership is never gentle." The night had passed, but its echo would last for generations.
Thanks for watching Daily English. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more quick English lessons every day. See you tomorrow.